Undisputed, I'm Jenny Tapp with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, how we doing?
Good morning, Jen. How you doing today?
Great. Feeling good?
Let's go, Nuggets! More Nuggets!
All right to sleep.
I got Clippers in 5.
Nuggets, oh, Nuggets.
I got
Nuggets.
Clippers in, I don't know, maybe 6 over the Lakers. I might give you a couple of games.
Okay,
maybe. I'll give the Nuggets 1 game, maybe.
Oh, you think that, so the Lakers they are going to advance. Is that what you're saying?
I think so in 7 over the Rockets, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The confidence from both sides of the table this morning. I can feel it from over here. All right, we got a packed show. Let's get to what we saw last night. The Jazz Nuggets series has been and advanced. So, Shannon, any issues with the way the last sequence unfolded there?
I don't, because Donovan Mitchell had an opportunity, Skip, to possibly, put him ahead. And Gary Harris Jr. made a great play. And he's not known for defense, and he just reached around, poked the ball out.
He's pretty good on defense.
But the thing was, Skip, I'm seeing Murray drive the ball down. I'm like, he's going to pull this thing out. They have a 2-point lead. You don't need the points. Make them foul you. And he goes and, passes it, and they blow the layup. And I think what happened is because it's so chaotic, and I think Gobert realized I don't have a whole lot of time, because he had Donovan way up the court. But everybody that was, close to him, he had Mike Conley Jr. He passed it to Conley Jr. And Skip, when that ball left his hand, I thought it was going in. I really did. Because he's the type of guy that can make shots like that. You've seen him at the end, late in the shot clock, Skip, at the end of quarters or halves of things, make shots like that. So when that ball left his hand, I'm like, man, they just won the game by 1.
Yep.
And it rimmed out. I didn't think the game was going to end the way it did, Skip, considering how it started the first half. I'm like, man, this is very anticlimactic.
I'd say.
This is terrible.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at it going 50-36 at the half.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, this is not what I thought, especially after the fireworks that we had gotten in games 4, 5, and 6. And I'm like, okay, this is the type of game it's going to be. But then, the game starts, and the Jazz couldn't buy a bucket. And I'm like, man, this is really not good. And then all of a sudden, late in the third, and in the fourth, it picks up, and then we got the ball game. The last 8-9 minutes that we expected throughout the entirety of the ball game. But Skip, I don't have a problem with the way the game played out. Donovan had the ball in his hands. He got it poked away, and the next thing you know, they're coming back the other way. Denver, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why you would even attempt that. Pull that ball back out, Murray. Make them foul you. Go to the free throw line and make your 2 free throws and go up by 1. I know you say, well, I got a 3-on-1.
Yep.
But what happened, what could have happened, it happened, and it almost cost you the ball game. But I don't have any problem with the sequence of events. I just have a problem with the way Royce O'Neal and Joe Ingles played. Because the last 2 games, English had 12 points, and Royce O'Neal, I think, had like 10 or 11. You can't win like that when you got starters playing those kinds of minutes, Skip, putting up those kinds of numbers. But other than that, I don't have a problem with the way the game played out.
I have one huge problem with the final sequence, and I'm about to get to that, but I'm going to step back and go big picture off last night. I want people to focus on the fact the final score was 80-79. Think about that.
78.
78. 80-78. In fact, I tweeted with 3 minutes left. I said the final score is going to be 80-79. That's why it stuck in my head. And I missed it by a point. And I thought it was going to be low scoring because, I'm not condemning because these are young players.
Right.
But there was a whole lot of choking going on out there.
Was.
There were a whole lot of tightening Game 7 throats going on. And again, these are 2 teams not all that used to Game 7s, but I warned you going into this game yesterday, Denver did play 2 Game 7s last year. 2 Game 7s. One against the Spurs and then one against the Blazers. And in those 2 Game 7s, Jamal Murray made a grand total of 0 3-point shots. And last night, he was 1 for 6 from 3. So he now has played 3 Game 7s in his still very young career, and he has 1 3-point shot. The other night in Game 6, he went 5 for 5 from 3 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
This is different. This is 7.
Yeah.
This makes everything seem very different, where the stage is too big for you, even though there's nobody on the stage. There are no fans that you can really see. They're virtual, but you can't really see anybody. It's pretty quiet in that gym for the most part, and the stage was still too big for just about everybody on the floor except that big guy for Denver.
Joker.
The Joker has played pro basketball for a long time because he was playing pro basketball when he was 14 in Europe, and the stage was not too big for him. He ended up being the tower of power, the one guy who was a cool customer, and he made the shot of shots.
Especially down the stretch.
Hey, down the stretch. And by the way,
did he miss down the stretch?
No, he did not. And that one shot against Gobert, who was playing his tail off.
He was.
If we could see the last shot that he made, this is the game winner. You want to talk about creativity and guts on this shot? This is like a fall-away hook shot. Look at this. He just made it up on the fly, and he swished it, and that's the ball game.
Yep.
All right, that leads to the final. And by the way, just to sum this up, you realize Denver won this game while scoring a grand total of 30 points in the second half. Think about this. Everybody out there in TV land, think about this. Jamal Murray in game number 1 scored 36 points, so that's more than they scored in the second half. In game 4, he goes for 50, game 5 for 42, and game 6 for 50 more points. His team last night scored 30 in the second half and survived. Live to tell about it.
Think about how many times Jamal Murray scored more points in the fourth quarter by himself than what they scored in the fourth.
I got it. Game 7 is different.
It is.
Okay, now I'm probably going to be over harsh, but I got some issues with the way the final sequence unfolded.
Okay.
My first issue is this. Donovan Mitchell drives it on Gary Harris, but they know he's going to drive it, so he's got all kinds of help behind him, so he can overplay him to the right hand and make him try to cut back to the left, and then there are all kinds of bodies coming. And Gary Harris made a nice play.
Yeah.
He stayed with him, and he flicked it out of his hands from behind. Bang.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Jamal's got the ball, and he's off to the races. Okay, so let me finish on your first point. I'm okay with you finishing that play 2-on-1 if you are dead sure you're going to get a dagger dunk.
Okay.
If you think it's a dagger dunk by Torrey Craig, if you can bounce pass for a dagger dunk shot, I'm good with it because now you're up 4 and it's game over, right?
Right.
Torrey Craig blew the layup. So clearly it's an easy 20/20 hindsight where that's choke. It's just a choke. It's a game 7 blown layup. We get it. So obviously if Jamal had it to do over, he'd say, maybe I should just dribble the clock out because that's the safer play.
Right.
But the dagger play, the go for the throat play is what he did as long as Torrey Craig can put the exclamation point on it. And instead of getting a wide open dunk, he tried to lay it off the glass and he laid it short and it trickled off the front to Rudy Gobert. And here we go up the court. Here's my bigger issue. I love Donovan Mitchell. I have defended him. I said he should have been the Rookie of the Year. You said Ben Simmons. I love his game. I love his mentality. I didn't love it in the fourth quarter last night because he ran from the ball too many times.
Yeah,
he let little Mike Conley Jr. say, you don't want the ball? I guess I got to go. And Mike Conley Jr. went 1 for 7 in the fourth quarter. Is that good?
No.
No, it's not good.
He went for 2 of 13 for the game.
2 of 13 for the game. Donovan, you took only 4 shots in the fourth quarter, and you did make one that was a big driving layup. That was a nice shot. But you should be shooting 7 or 8 times in the fourth quarter. And
absolutely.
I think he got gassed. I really do.
Yes.
He would just stand and look at Conley Jr. like, just go, just do it.
I mean, the first half, Skip, I mean, you watch it in the first half, and you're like, wow, where's the energy? And I understand, you've exerted a lot, especially over the last 3 games.
And for a while, he guarded Jamal, and he did a good job.
Right. And that was, Skip, I thought that was the mistake. Because he's your offense. You can't have your offense. If you notice, Skip, they put Jeremy Grant into the starting lineup and put him on Donovan because they didn't want Jamal Murray being gassed, trying to trace Donovan Mitchell all over the court.
Okay. This is game 7.
Yes.
This is legacy. Some